group, Peanut Butterfly, is going to introduce you to the phenomenon of Cicadas, and my group mate Chinwei, Henry, Tia, and Sabir. And my name is Natalie, and first part goes to Kitchen.
Okay, so what's so special about cicadas is their long lifespan, their loud sound, the way they mate, and the molting. The introduction for cicadas. What they eat is the saps of trees called xylem, and the prey, birds, spiders, even humans. People cook cicadas and make pizzas, soup, yeah. And there's 1,300 species around the world. Where they stay is the tree where they were born. Some of cicadas. The part where cicadas used to make noise is actually timbers. They vibrate the two timbers to produce a loud noise. Cicadas sound actually hurt the ears, and they only make noise in the daylight. And actually only male cicadas make noise, the girls can't, the females can't. Male cicadas make noise to attract the females for mating, and they also make noise to scare the prey away. Here's the sound comparison. This whisper is the jackhammer, the one they use for construction. This motor is cicadas. This rock concert, and this the jet engine.
The next one is the mating of cicadas. This is their position, their mounting position, and they use their wings to cover for privacy. They only have like 2 to 4 weeks to find a partner to mate before they die. And the male cicadas, actually they explain here as the statement it relates. The male cicadas call to mate. They make a very loud sound. And then the female cicadas will answer by flicking their wings as a signal. And the next one is how cicadas lay eggs. Female cicadas, they have ovipositor. It's like this thing. They can actually cut through the trees, and then they lay their eggs inside the trees. This is the close-up of the eggs. And we compare it to other animals that have ovipositor. The grasshopper forces a burrow into the earth, and then sawflies, they lay eggs in the tissue of plants, and wasps, they lay in tree trunks. But cicadas is the only one that cuts using the ovipositor. And then for the molting of cicadas, this is really interesting because they molt for 4 times.
You have to wrap up quickly.
Okay. So they shed skin. Basically, they shed before the skin hardens. They stay in an upside down manner. And then the exoskeleton hardens and darkens. They return to its original color. First, when it comes out from the shedding, it's actually like green color, but later they'll turn brown, which is the original color. And the lifespan, cicadas live for a really long time, 17 years. They live like 17 years underground, 2 to 17 years underground, and then when they like merge from the ground, they live for up to 2 weeks only, 2 to 4 weeks. And we compare also to other insects, like the grasshopper. They only live for 1 year. The beetle, they live for 240 days, and the fly, they live for 30 days. So this is our stamp. It's basically what the justification of the stamp is the whole board. We didn't make a specific board for it, but yeah. So this is the sound. You can see actually, like it represents how loud the sound is. And then this is the main thing, which is the board. This is the shedding of the skin. This is the old skin, and this is the new skin. And this is the lifespan from like when they're underground, and then when they emerge from the ground and into an adult cicada.
So, thank you.
Okay. The information layout is quite neat, right? Things are well presented. All right. A pet peeve of mine is the way that the fonts are, right? It looks like there are around like three or four types of font that you use, you'll be very good at you standardize it instead, right? Like for example, right now there I can't read that. It's quite hard to read. I can.
Because of the
It's
background, the
black,
brown
it's
background.
black and brown. Yeah, it's over there is white on maroon. And that's another thing is you said is done by different people, right? And then there's supposed to be everything's supposed to be, standardized, right? Color scheme. Right. Up here, I'm not really sure why you have these massive icons there, lifespan, sound, mating, thing. Yeah, it's nice, but then there's no information on that. I'm not sure how is that relevant. I know that it's like saying, I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that why
Yeah.
yeah, but I think there's a waste of space because I can read a lot, isn't it? I think you can put something else there, something more general, perhaps. Maybe like the weight of it, maybe the size of it. Is that to scale? The model of the it's not.
Almost is around this size.
It'll be very fascinating if you can scale and then you can see like what it is, isn't it? And then plus, of course, right? Because on this board, you're doing multiple species of cicada, right? Because that one's American, and that one is Southeast Asian. I know. So,
He Googled, he didn't know that.
no, I know that. I knew that. I knew that as American. Okay. So anyway, so here's the thing. I want to find out your steps. That's the molting, right? Position, right?
Yeah.
You say it's upside down. Is it
This
supposed to be
is
upside
after
down?
the skin hardens. They actually crawl up the old skin before they fly off.
But you say that before they mold, they go upside down.
Yeah.
So is that an error? No, you get what I'm saying?
Oh,
The-
yeah.
Because you say that's the molting step, isn't it? It shows the
Right.
molting procedure. But on your molting board, it says that before they mold, they go upside down. That's not upside down. is it?
Before the skin hardens.
Before the skin hardens.
Yeah.
Oh, I
They
see.
stay upside down. And then they resume like that, like this position.
Oh, I see. Okay, my bad. Okay, in terms of the step, right? You have a very, very interesting choice of subjects. It's just that I think it would be a lot better if you don't have the background in it. If it's white and you zoom in more. Because stems are very small and then you have to see a lot. Right? Yeah, I think that goes a lot. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
So, okay, the good thing is I really like, I think that the choice of topic is great. Cicadas are interesting. And like it's good that you guys pick out, certain facts like sound, mating, molting, which is a good subtopic itself, and there's a lot of substantial things to talk about. And also the color of the boards, like I like the vibe that it gives, but just like Amos said that the graphics could be better, like the black on brown font thing, and then like it's not standardized. On each board it's not standardized. Like some all are printed, right?
Like this color and that color.
Yeah, the colors are. It's a little bit messy for that. And also, okay, moving on to like the presentation, like how you presented this out after she gave the intro. You just straight away like just jumped into what these topics are, but you didn't like give a grace explanation of like why you choose this.
And where does it come from?
We don't see a relation about why you choose this and like which part of Taman Negara you see. Like some other group before, also like this could be in any other park. Why is it Taman Negara? Like, yeah, we don't see why you pick this or why is it so special in this park, and that's quite important now. Okay, and then the icons, like the green ones, like I find that a little bit misleading. I mean, I don't really know what it means, like each icon, because also the words are quite small and I can't really see.
Why is that upside?
So I wouldn't bother reading.
Why is that upside?
What was that thing? Yeah.
Is this so hold it? Oh.
Oh.
Well, you could show that. It would be cool. But you didn't
Why
show
is it like that? It's not even an arrow. That's supposed to be 5.
Is this
7.5?
It's making sound.
Oh.
Cicada.
The sound too?
Could draw it.
Yes. Could you draw it back there?
No icon for Cicada is it?
But the sound comparison thing is interesting now. But the way you said it was like, what?
I think they should highlight it.
Yeah, you should highlight what is it.
Cicadas should highlight it. So like, because right
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's like what?
Yeah, you could highlight the Cicada and like maybe a header of what each icon is. You know, it's interesting, but it's not graphically like accurate. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I'll say the information is okay, but I see a lot of icons like what they mentioned. Actually, they already mentioned most of what I'm gonna say right now, but it's yeah the diagram a bit misleading, and without the words down there, you don't really know what it's supposed to mean. And yeah, I quite like the color scheme, but in terms of quality, next time do cut the boards behind and the orange one and the board behind. Please make sure that there's no excess things. Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah. Yeah, because the contrast with the thing.
They're very minor thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sonia.
Hi. I really like the consistency. Yeah, the consistency of the whole thing. It looks like a whole art. And for like what Sue said, it doesn't look like it's in Taman Negara. So, and the waste of space thing is like, and if you really want to put that right, lifespan, sound, rating, and whole thing right, at least put it in sequence with the four things like lifespan first and then sound. You know, you get it. And at least lah, you know, if you really want to put that.
No lifespan here.
Lifespan, you see?
Oh,
You
bawah.
know, it's like I was like looking for lifespan also, and then it's like, oh, it's at the end, you know. And I think there are more important information that you can put, like the parts of the cicada, you know, like what's ovipositors, I don't know.
Like those could be shown here.
Yeah,
in this
you
model.
could have annotated
It would be
it
interesting.
that would be nice.
Like yeah.
The section cut.
Okay.
And like the icons as well, like sound comparison. Some you label your icons and icons, but some like the whispering, jackhammer, the third one, like all this I couldn't really get if you didn't see. And the way you portray some info could be stronger. For example, the mostly thing. Maybe you can show it in a timeline form or something. It would be more clearer lah. And
Next time.
the stamp right I would consider a lot if I would buy a stamp with Cicadas meeting. Yeah, that's just like my personal opinion.
I
Maybe
was
for
buy
the
it.
But aren't you? Sorry.
What?
But I like that it's really info. And it's not too much info. Like you really highlight in short sentences, which is what I like.
No. Just keep picking.
Sugar.
Just keep picking.
Oh wait, they did do the body.
Yeah, but not all the parts are.
But the thing is, it's actually under the body part and the sound of cicadas. You
Yeah.
realize that it's actually not labeled properly.
Yeah.
We just wanted actually highlight the body parts that make sound.
Oh, so the
EIM or TCM.
I think you should have actually make that bigger or frame it.
or explain it or
And then what is timbals? You know, I think you don't. Yes, it is very good layout and neat, but you could have more information written on it. As much as it's actually clear and and brief, but there's certain part a bit more like what is timbals? You know, like and then where is this from in Taman Negara? Is this the body part? This is a male or a female? Or is it the same?
Only the male makes sounds.
Okay, where do you write that information? Isn't that important? Isn't that like one of the main important? And then that is if it's so main, but I have to find that information. So that's where you have to actually weigh how do you actually place all this information on the board. Which one is more important? And at the moment it's like okay, but not that's great, correct?
Yeah, I agree with Misty and the rest of the students who commenting on your work. I just want to add more, one more.
you have the consistency of the presentation board. We can see that. But however, your stamp, I would say that one is quite last minute work, because I can see you can see, you know, how you place up your stamps, and you have like the border is like macam frame like that. It's supposed to be like, you know, the proper stamp border, and then the
Edges,
way
yeah.
you paste your work, your stamp is, you know, it's quite last minute to see. But I disagree with what Emma said. You don't have to put the background, but I love to see, you
Yeah.
know, with the background, it's complement. But the way that you place, that one is quite last minute, I would say.
I like the background
And
just
it's
dotted
different.
or grey, and then
Is it different paper?
Different paper. Yeah.
see, no, if it's not even, if it's not coloured, you can have like a grey coloured background, but your item, your
Highlight.
you highlight your cicada, you know, and maybe that's what
Yeah,
Amos was
that's
trying to
what
say. More subdued colours, you know, grey at the back. Then you can see your cicadas. At the moment, the cicada is fighting with the back. The cicadas is fighting with the background.
But isn't that, you know, how it looks like in real life? That's
But if
what
that is not-
interesting about it.
I know,
kan?
but if it's that is the main thing that they want to show, then they do that. They should be doing that.
Be lighter the
Because
colour.
they
Yeah,
want-
maybe lighter the colors. You know,
You see
as-
how you paste the paper? Oh my god, it's so slow.
yeah. As a whole presentation, it looks nice, you know, in terms of the color scheme, like, you know, all the panels have been, you know, saying, you know, it's very consistent. You use like brown colors, green, and just, you know, those two major colors. But when it gets to the font, you know, the explanations, you know, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit disturbing. It's a bit, you know, it's not clear, because you need to somehow highlight certain important, you know, explanation, like, you know, the lifespan and stuff. You know, you cannot really read that. You know, when you get into details, those things, you know, becoming less informative, kan, when it gets to detail. But as a whole presentation, I mean, the structure is very, very interesting, I would say. And I think that's it for me. It's about most of the.
Hi. Okay, in terms of depth, overall, I think it's an average high-ish. You know, you want to give good, but there's certain things that's not enough, so it's in between the good and average. In terms of structure, it's good, all right. In terms of graphic, it's just good and neat. Yeah, all right.
The quality is there.
Yeah, all right.
Could be
Okay,
better.
thank you. Next, can you please call